What's going on, everybody? This is Ross of the Misfit Effect. And of course, I'm talking about wonderful, spectacular, always gorgeous, and the person who just left me a few days ago, and I won't see again for another month, Sarah Liz.
Hey, that's right. I was just in LA. Now I'm back home. Honestly, when this gets released, I'm literally going back to LA. So, either way. But today, we actually have a very, very special guest. I know they're all special, but honestly, I am waiting to hear about this. This gorgeous, bodacious beauty is named Wisconsin Tiff. And I don't know if you guys have already heard, but she was a fluffer in 100-man gangbang. And now she has a new release, which we will let her talk about. Um, Hello, Wisconsin. Please introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
Hi, I'm Wisconsin Tiff. I live in Wisconsin, but I go down to Chicago to do all my shoots because, I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot more variety down there, and my camera guy and my security guy are down there. So, yeah, and then I'm out here in LA getting some work done with interviews, podcasts, and I mean, you can't really do much out in Wisconsin, so I have more opportunities out here while I'm here. And I recently did a 50 guy anal gangbang with Lily Phillips. And these are guys that I found from the internet. I am so proud of myself because usually I will have help because it is so hard setting these up because they don't realize like the testing. Some of them were repeat guys that have been in past gangbangs, but a majority of them, like Tadpole, I asked him if he would go in it because I mean we needed as many numbers because I'm like I don't care what you look like, we just need the numbers. So but a lot of them flew from out of the country to be at this event. That I was like, that's crazy that they spent that amount of money just to be at an event with Lily and I. So it was insane and it was crazy. I saw all those dicks and I was like, what did we get ourselves into? This is too many because I've done many gangbangs, but not to this extent in my butt.
Mhm.
And because of the amount of anal that I've been doing anal for 20, almost 21 years, and I'm almost 37. So if you do the math, you can see that I've been doing it for a really long time. I didn't really know much about lubrication really before doing porn. So I just relied on my spit or coconut oil, which I mean, it's great. But I had learned that you should always try to aim for silicone based because of the way that it works. So, anyways, with anal, I've done a shoot where the guy's dick, it was actually a pro shoot and it didn't go, it like kind of missed a little and it
Mhm.
hit the skin and it tore just a little because I was
Mhm.
bleeding. So I like cleaned up a little. And if you don't know, like, what happens when you tear multiple times because I could even probably have little micro tears from doing anal and I would have never known because they're so micro. After a while, builds up like scar tissue and cuts off blood supply. So then it kind of just becomes dead skin and then it can become an internal hemorrhoid and external and depending like when TMI, but depending on like what I'm eating, like I'd have to be very cautious of like my diet, make sure I get my fiber because it would like kind of trigger it. And so I'd have to push it back in. And like I was really good with concealing it until like I'm doing these shoots and they're like, okay, push the cum out. And I'm like, oh God, please don't have the hemorrhoid. I'm like praying. I'm like, so finally, the 50 guy gangbang was the breaking point. Was, it was like worse.
Mhm.
And I found a surgeon in Chicago that specializes in the type of surgery that I needed. So I had that done not too long ago. And I was not going to share it on the internet because I was like, I don't know if I want people knowing that.
Mhm.
And then I was told that it would make really good press with the 50 guy thing. So I'm like, okay, I might as well put it on the internet if it's gonna get something. I mean, so it's triggered people. It's made people think that I'm lying. They want photos or it didn't happen. And I'm like, I'm not
Photos of the
showing you
surgery or
photos
photos of your
before and after. And they're probably gonna rely on the photos like I've shown in like past photos where I show my butthole, but I like I said, I would push it, I would push back in, and I was like, I'd hold my butthole tight. But anyways,
Yeah.
or I would wear a butt plug or something, you know.
Mhm.
But they want photos of the surgery of the stitches and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not showing that to anybody. I didn't say any of that, but I'm like, I do not need to show you the freaking stitches. And I think because they saw a still photo and I didn't like the lighting, so I went in my app and I kind of edited the lighting a little bit so that it looked kind of like appealing for the photos. But and then people were like, you can't wear makeup during anesthesia. And I wasn't wearing any makeup. I just changed the lighting. So it kind of gave me like rosy cheeks, like because I was like trying to make it look nice. But I don't want to explain that to anybody. So I was like, whatever, I'll just use that as like free press from people. So yeah, I've had a lot of people asking me about it. I got text messages and stuff, and I don't want to answer anybody about it because I'm like, I'm gonna leave that to the press when they ask me or interviews.
I do feel like it is difficult. Like they want us to share our stories, but then they also don't want to believe us. So you're just like, why should I share all of my story with you if you're just gonna go back and be like, oh, that's not true? It's like, how would anyone know? It's your
Yeah.
personal experience.
Yeah, because I'm like, what kind of person asks to see someone's asshole after a surgery? Do you
Yeah.
ask your family member that? I mean, I guess because they're not posting about it on the internet, but I'm not posting a photo of my freaking butthole because I was like, I've shared on my Snapchat, my private Snap where I have fans on there. And it's my Snap Premium. So I'll have people will purchase and then they get unlimited access. And I'll post like nudes and stuff in there and they get behind the scenes. And they know that I had the surgery, but I was kind of hesitant about it, about sharing small details. So some of the guys knew and they know it was real. But I was like, I told them, like, but I'm not showing you my butthole because that is a very, some things I just want to keep to myself. Like I can share the experience, but I took the phone and I was looking down and I was like going in, pushing out, and I was like, oh my God, there's stitches in there. That's crazy. And I'm not showing that to anybody. I'm literally not showing that to anybody.
I
You
mean,
don't
like,
want them to be quote unquote scarred for life.
Because that will be out on the internet forever. Like, I don't care if
Yeah.
my porn is out on the internet forever, but that's my fucking asshole on the internet forever. And not that I really care that family will find out because everybody knows, but I'm like, I don't want them seeing a stitched up asshole.
Exactly.
But
Like
I'm
some
recovered.
things are too
I mean,
personal.
I think it's one. It's some things that you got to keep for yourself, and certain fans don't understand that because it's like, yeah, I just had this surgery, but this is a little bit much. It's like I can't can't show you this, you know.
Exactly.
And
And I feel like those are like, not to be mean to you fans, but those are the weird fans. You know, those are the weird ones, the ones that are gonna ask you, "Oh, what elementary school did you go to? What city were you born in?" And you're like, "Please don't.
don't like,
Please
please,
no.
please stay away.
Just just accept me for who I am right now. Like, embrace the beautiful Tiff, you know?
And
Like,
it's healed now. It's pretty much healed. The stitches dissolved, and I've been looking at it. And I'm like, wow, it is so nice. And I'm like,
You
I
like this.
am
You like
so
my
confident to
booty hole is
show
so
it.
much
yeah.
prettier now.
And then people are going to be like, when they say they're like, you didn't have it because it looks really good. I
Yeah.
mean, I was really worried about like, what if I don't like it, and then I want her to kind of like critique it a little more because I have a friend who went in a second time because she just wanted it a little bit different. She went somewhere out here in LA. I was actually going to use her doctor, and she's been very vocal about it, Millie Morgan. So
Okay.
I didn't know they did surgeries like this. And I've been, it's like, I don't want to, I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, how do I contact a doctor about this? And then I feel like it's just too hard. But then I found doctors that specialize in this type of like surgery. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like
Because
I
I feel like
know
even
it's
despite doing what we do, it's still there's still a shyness within us to be like, okay, I'm gonna have to explain this to the doctor. Like, part of it is also trying to find a good one that can not judge,
it'd
even
be
if
this
they don't say
it'd be this
anything,
great because you
just
gotta go in there and
face
say, yeah, I hurt my
broke
booty
my booty hole.
hole. How did you hurt your booty hole? Well, you
The surgeon
see.
doesn't know. I think when I was under the laughing gas, because they give laughing, and then or I don't remember which one it was. Maybe that I don't remember which surgery. I've had a few, but I think I said something right before I fell asleep. I'm like, I think I said something like I had 50 guys in my butt. And I think they were laughing because I remember I know I said something because I didn't tell her make it real. I need it really nice because I have millions of people on the internet seeing it and I need to spread open. And anyways, I'm pretty sure I said something like I had a bunch of guys in my butt and that's why I'm having this surgery. I'm pretty sure I said I don't remember, but I'm really crossing my fingers I didn't say that.
That sounds like something I would say, like just be all like calm and like normal, and then all of a sudden you give me a little bit of laughing gas or a little bit of alcohol, and bam, loose lipped, telling everyone my story. Like, and
Yeah.
afterwards I'd be like, oh, I really said that. Oh.
50 guys in my butt and they're probably thinking like what.
See,
So I guess technically, would that make it a virgin again?
No, I mean it is really tight. I'm so afraid to put anything in it right now. I'm like I don't want to ruin it. I'm so
Yeah.
afraid to put a finger in it.
I feel like you would have to retrain it all over again.
It's crazy. I'm like I'm so afraid to put a finger in it.
I get it. I feel like it's not the time yet, Give
No,
it
it's
more
not.
how
heal.
long do they say it'll take before it's fully healed?
I mean, it should be healed by now. I mean, but I mean, usually they're not recommending like to have anal sex. So it would be different, like if you were to have something in your vagina, it'd be
Mhm.
like, wait 6 weeks. But for this, it's like, it's healed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's healed. My buttholes were healed. Yeah.
So, do you think you would do anal again, or do you think that is it?
I am gonna wait a while and I'm gonna probably try to use a butt plug to see how my butt handles it because I'm too scared to do anal right now. I'm so scared that it's gonna
Understandable.
tear. I don't know. It just seems so scary. I'm like so scared I'm gonna tear it because it's like new and it's like tight and everything. So I'm like, maybe I'll start out with like a really tiny butt plug.
Hmm.
It,
Uh,
I
it
want to say it like
definitely
this, and
should.
this is gonna be like kind of mean to some people, but not mean. It's like, as you say, ease in with like little butt plugs, but then when you do actually get another dick in there, find someone who has a really, 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 really thin dick.
I know a guy that has a
Yeah,
pinky dick, and I could
yeah,
I could
yeah,
test him out and be like,
like
all
pinky
right,
dick, you
only the
know.
tip goes in,
Yeah, just like
Exactly.
just say like I'm sorry to use you like this, but
only small dick.
I've been using it for
I just
years.
need you to help me to test something out. So can you get hard so I can see like just a tip, just a okay, I'm good now. I can go. I'm sorry to use you like that, but I just need to try it out really quick. Thank you. We're not having sex. I just wanted to use just a test really quick. Thank you, Dick Eye. Thank you, Pinky.
Thank you,
Pinky dick.
Pinky. Oh my God. But hey, I mean, at least there's two other holes that we have a lot of imagination on how to use them,
Yeah, I actually ended up also, since I had that, I ended up having um a labiaplasty. I didn't technically need it, but I was like, there's like a little bit of skin, and I was like, can you chop that off? Like just that little
Yeah.
smidge right there, just chop it off. So I had that done, and I don't know what she did at the bottom part. It's called perineal or something, and it's like right, and I was like, I don't know if she like cinched it or whatever, and I'm like, it feels tighter, but maybe it's because it's, I don't know. I was like, I'm so afraid to put two fingers in me right now because the outside is
Yeah.
like, but anyways, that, yeah, I haven't told anybody about that because I only like a few of my fans know because I talked about it to a few of them on my Snapchat when they were like asking me questions about if we could do video call. And I'm like, I can't do one right now because I'm kind of healing down there and in both holes. And they're like, wait, what? And I was like, I'm like, I just don't really want to talk about it because it's too much explaining. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then people are going to be like, you didn't need a labiaplasty. And I'm like, well, I wanted it because it wasn't the original reason, because the surgeon also does that too. Like she's all
Hmm.
like women's health and rectal and stuff. So yeah, she's took a little like skin and like
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, looks looks a little different than what it did.
I love
You
that.
know, like,
It's not even about making it pretty or anything like that. It's really about boosting confidence.
Yeah,
Like,
like
because
I,
I was told that if because I was like, why does the skin on the bottom look more now than it did like a couple years ago? And I heard that hormones can sometimes make it a little bigger.
hmm.
And then when you
Okay.
when you go through menopause, it shrinks up.
Oh, wow.
And I was researching that, and then it really is true. And I didn't know that. They said, yeah, a lot of older women, grandmas, they have shrinked up labias. The inner labia is shrinked up because of the hormones. So I was like, that's interesting that because they say during puberty the labia like changes because of the hormones. And I was like, oh, that's good to know because they don't teach that.
Yeah,
one
I've
one
never heard
thing,
that before.
one
Yeah.
thing that I don't like, I get, but I don't understand why certain people get so upset when you say, "Yeah, I had surgery. I am healing. Let me heal before I do anything." Why are you doing this? Why? It's like it's my body, damn it.
Mhm.
Let me do it to my body what I want to do with my body. Jesus Christ. You know,
Most of them have been very supportive. Some of them are like, you didn't need it. And I'm like, okay, well, I do porn for a living. Maybe if I wasn't doing porn, I wouldn't
you
have
know.
done, but I'm like, I wanted it done. So, but the butthole that had to get done. That was something that had to get done. I'm just thankful that I have the means to afford it because it's not cheap.
Yeah.
I do want to ask this question though, since we are talking about, that in general. So how was the 50 man anal gangbang? Because I've always said that I've never done anal to anybody. Yeah, but I know she does that type of content too. And how was that experience?
It was insane. We decided to go smallest to biggest to kind of just,
Yeah, that
stretch
makes
it a
sense.
little. Because
Yeah.
that's it was like some of those guys pulled up with like monster dicks. And I was just like, I'm used to having fans with just regular size dicks, not horse cocks. So one of the guys who was
Uh,
a virgin, and he was a virgin, and his dick was huge. And I'm like, and he lost his virginity to me, which I felt honored.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you still a virgin? I'm like, that's crazy. You should not be a virgin with this dick. That's what I told him.
I
I
think
have
it,
his number, so if I ever decide, I mean, he was actually a very funny person. But yeah, it was so much cum crusted all over our faces. It was like hard, crusty. I was like scratching it and I was like, gosh, if it's like plaqued on, I've never had
so
anything like this before.
because I had when I was talking to someone about these videos a few days ago, So it is sex into completion for the anal thingy. It's just not like, someone going in for a little bit and then going on. If that makes sense.
What's that?
It's sex into completion and it's not like getting
Like,
them
were they
like
each given like 3 minutes, or were they actually given time to finish off, or was it like 3 minutes each person and then the cum shot? I think that's what he's trying to ask.
We didn't really time it because there was just so many
okay.
people and it was so overwhelming for me. We kind of just like played it off like, okay, I think you're obviously not going to come anytime soon. And I was just like kind of playing it by ear because I've done so many gangbangs and I can tell like if somebody's going to come soon. Sometimes you never can tell, but
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many guys, I wanted to just like I feel like I did so many certain strokes and then I was like, okay guys, and then I would like have them move over and then more guys would come up and I was kind of I was very instructive, like I'm like, come on over here, honey. Come on, don't be shy. And I'm like, come by me. And then I'm like, you guys have to get a little bit closer. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, we're just here to have a gangbang. But when I had wrote on the information for the gangbang when I was recruiting guys, I wrote on the information. One of the things is like you might bump elbows with your neighbor. So I mean, it's okay as long. I mean, if you're uncomfortable, then um just know like you don't have to be up with all the guys, but just so you know you probably are going to be kind of like skin to skin a little bit, but no one is, it's like I don't know, but nobody had any issues. Yeah, some people had never done anything like that before,
Mm-hmm.
so they were really nervous and I calmed their nerves down, and some of them were like so excited and they were like they couldn't believe that they were doing this with us.
I
Yeah.
think the
I
most
feel like it would be a dream come true, honestly, to film with you.
yeah, because
Yeah,
this
because
is
you think,
amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like even not just fangirling, but in general, like I've seen that you have some really great content. So it's like, I'd be able to film with Tiff. Oh my goodness. I feel like it doesn't matter. Fan, talent, anyone would low key would be jealous to film with you,
I think
you
the
know?
hardest thing that some dudes might run into in a game, like just in the way you're doing it, is like
Mm-hmm.
just staying hard. It's just like, oh God, I gotta
Yeah.
wait. And then it's like, I can't get it up. No,
Mm-hmm.
no. And then, you're down a guy. So with that question is, I don't know how many, did anyone fail and they try to have a backup in order to meet your quota?
There were some guys who were kind of soft and it's because of their nerves, but I think everybody got
Finish.
to
Okay.
have sex with us. So we made sure like everybody got a chance. But yeah, it is harder for guys who don't do this type of stuff because the guys who are professionals, they know they're expected to come on set and be ready. And if you can't be ready, then you better be taking something to make sure it's hard. But yeah, a lot of these guys don't have never done anything like this, so they're probably so nervous and they're like, should I take Viagra or should I not? Or like do I it's just very it could be very nerve-wracking for them.
And then it will definitely get overwhelming walking into a room and seeing 49 other guys.
49,
Yes.
49 other dicks. And like you're like, as you said, like you're going from smallest to the biggest and you already feel, like okay, I'm third and this man over here is 38th. That's already like a shot to the ego. It's like
Well, some
I,
guys do like to go last.
yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, but like, see, some guys prefer to go first and some guys prefer to go last. And I don't know. I like the guys that like to go last. So I'm like, ooh, you nasty,
see,
but oh,
see, like I'm one of the people who
finish
like
me off.
since I'm a male in this conversation, I would prefer to go first or second, like within the top five. And it's like I started it off right, and everybody else is just secondary. And that's what how like the way my brain would work it. And it's only because of that. It's like, Okay. I did what I had to do. I got her open and ready for you. Now you can go ahead and do what you gotta do. But you remember, I got her ready. You ain't really do much. You know, that would be my that would be my mindset, and I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's just from my male's perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I always find it, I never knew like guys like going last. And then there was like guys who wanted, there was a guy that wanted to be cleanup guy, but he messaged me that and I'm like, we're not doing that. It's not one of those. I'm sorry.
Um,
But then,
I'm
yeah.
sorry for the ignorant brain. What's cleanup guy?
What's
Oh, the
that?
cleanup guy to lick up all the cum.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
the cleanup guy. He wanted to be the cleanup cook, and I'm like, we're it's not one of those shoots.
See, I like that. I like those kinds of guys. Those are freaky deaky, you know? Like, they may not have been the time and place for it, but like, for a future thing, it's one of those where, like, I'll remember you, buddy. Like,
I even think one of the there was a guy, he ended up not being in it, but he's like, can I volunteer as like sucking their dicks and stuff to keep them hard? And I'm like, I don't think these guys want that.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because some of them are already nervous.
Hmm.
And then like and some of them are straight, of course. And I don't think they would feel comfortable having another male like fluff them in
It would
preparation.
probably go very limp.
It's
Hmm.
just like
Or to even watch another guy get fluffed by someone else, like that in
another
itself
dude,
might
yeah.
even be it.
Because I mean,
But
like I
but
just was
you were a fluffer, right? For the 100 man gangbang, I think Rebels.
Yes.
Okay, so how obviously because she was the main talent for that. How much different was it just putting it together?
I didn't have to worry about doing any of the organization. It was my first time ever being part of a very large gangbang because I had just started doing them that year
Hmm.
and I was very new to them. So um, I showed up and we had to rent a huge building and there was plastic on the ground to, protect the flooring. And I thought that was kind of funny because I was like, this is crazy. They really don't want their flooring messed up. But there was just so many, and they were all like around the walls and stuff. They were like lined up on the walls, and they all had numbers and stuff. And I was just the fluffer, so all I had to do is just keep them hard. And there was a few other girls that were also fluffers. Um, but it was very interesting because I mean, if you're on a professional pro shoot, you're not going to have fluffers because they better show up, whatever. But because these guys are nervous and they're just regular guys that don't do porn, I mean, yeah, I mean, because that's a lot of guys to like keep hard because
yeah.
a lot of them like are waiting and it would have taken forever to get that
Hmm.
shoot done.
Like even
I
a
have
throat
I have
goat will get sore, you know?
I have a
Like that's a lot. I'm surprised like you didn't get like lockjaw or something from fluffing so much.
I have a random
There,
question. Like from you're like you doing fluffing or anybody else helping with the fluffing. Did anyone come while you're fluffing them to keep them ready?
not with me because I made sure I didn't
Okay.
have that happen, but it did happen with somebody else. I think she sucked them a little too long, more than she should have. So,
I get that.
but I was like, only tease. That's all I was like, I have to tease them.
Hmm.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I just teased them and I'm not giving, I did give like blowjob,
You
but
know, yeah,
just enough to tease them because I'm like, I don't want them coming in my mouth because this is not
Yeah.
that type of shoot. And I'm like, it's her shoot. I'm just here to keep them hard. So
Yeah. You're just
yeah.
there for oral support.
Yes. Oral support.
so
Like
question.
moral
So
support.
as someone like let's say you do another one of these, whatever in the future or whatever you do. So as like since they're outsiders, they're not in porn, what do you demand or
Required?
request require? Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for them when they get tested. Is it like the day before? like how much in between that makes sense. Like the because I don't think you want them all to go take get tested in from a certain place, whatever. But what is the time frame in between getting tested and doing the scene for
It
you?
really Um, it depends on when the shoot is. If it's on a Monday, then because talent test isn't open on the weekend,
Mhm.
they have till I usually give them from like Tuesday to Friday because I mean some of them can't get in on Thursday or Friday, so I give them some leeway. And I thankfully haven't gotten anything from these because um they all go to talent tests, but I always assume like they're going to honor not doing stuff in between. And I would assume if they're paying good money to go get a talent test, they're not going to go out and just bang some random person because they just paid that money to have that test, knowing that they are clean. So I have never had any issues ever. I mean, all my tests have come back like nothing. I've never had anything from any of these gangbangs. Thankfully,
That's
I'll knock on
great.
wood. So, but yeah, they go take their testing. Like if it's on I don't really do my shoots on Fridays. I
Mhm.
usually do them on like Mondays or Tuesdays. So that with that, they usually will take the test between Tuesday and Friday the week prior. So by the time if they take their test on Friday, they'll get the results either on Saturday or Monday. So they'll have them at enough in time. But um, if I had if they were if I was doing a shoot on a Friday, I would have them do their testing either between the days of Monday and Wednesday because Thursday might be too late because then it's running through time because by the time Friday. But yeah, I
Yeah,
usually make
depends.
sure
It
it's as
depends where
close
you
as
are too.
possible.
It depends on where what city it's in because, like as you said, you were hooked up with Tadpole. Tadpole's awesome person, by the way. Shout out
Mhm.
Tadpole. Um,
Yeah.
like, and I know like he does some of his stuff in Chicago, and I know it's a lot different as far as facilities in areas that aren't Vegas, Florida, or LA. So it
Mhm.
does waver how fast the test
How
you
fast they
want,
get the
yeah,
results.
you get the
Yeah.
results, yeah.
Which when I'm doing my talent test, I have my own talent test nurse who comes to my house. And
Okay.
regardless of like if I go to Chicago or have my own talent test nurse because they put it in the mail, I always get those results the next day, but at like later in the day. Like at sometimes I've had them late at night. But if I'm like in LA or Vegas, I'll get the results the next morning.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I go to CET when I go, whatever. So that's in LA and it's right away. But I know like for some of these the fans, whatever, they're like you said, they flew in. So if a guy is in Georgia, for example, and he goes to one of the recommended places out there, whatever the required
It would
places.
actually get to Miami quicker because that's where they go. They get sent to Miami. So it
Oh,
would be quicker shipping.
I would just hit a random place.
Yeah, they as long as they're shipping it out before I think like 1 p.m. on their time because that's when the last thing comes out or something. It gets all shipped down and you should all have the shipments get sent that day and then they get them the next morning.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they all have all those tests in the morning that they're working on. So it doesn't matter where you live because they're getting overnighted.
Oh no, I mean
Mhm.
I've known some that have taken like 2 days for them to
That's if they test on a Friday and they don't do the expedited overnight testing where they pay extra for the Saturday testing because if they test on Friday, they're not gonna, or if they test on Friday and they send that to Miami, they'll get it on that Saturday, but they won't test it until Monday because you didn't pay that extra fee for them to test it on that Saturday.
Mhm.
But I've never had my test take 2 days ever.
oh I was just talking about fan. It's
I
just from
have
like
actually.
yeah, it's
Even
just
with my fans, I've never had them because they pay for that expedited overnight
okay.
shipping.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Absolutely. But honestly, this is one of the reasons we gotta love talent testing, being able to get our results as soon as physically possible is definitely worth those extra funds. As opposed to, for example, going to your doctor and waiting like 2 weeks or whatever, and then you get like one result at a time. Honestly, that's like that takes the fun out of it, versus just go to talent testing and then very next day, bam, I'm clean. Who wants to fuck?
Yeah.
So I have a question. So since you did this 15-man anal gangbang, are there any like something that you really want to do in the future that you're already setting up that you can say without spoiling right now? Or
I'm going down to Kansas City to the VFW to recruit some of the disabled veterans.
Ooh, okay. So
So, yeah.
like a Veterans Day party is what I'd call it.
Um, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it, but I am bringing Tadpole with me because he's going to be the camera guy, but I'm the one who's setting it up. So a lot of people think when Tadpole's with me, it's like a production shoot for Tadpole Studio, but it's because he's a camera guy, so he just
Mm.
comes with me when I need him, or I'll have a different camera guy. It really depends. But I don't know what I'm going to call it. I I'm kind of curious because it's going to be in a much different environment than what I'm used to because I'm used to Chicago. So I'm not sure what to expect because I had an interview about it was down in Kansas City. I did a virtual interview and they were asking me if I wanted to come down there and shoot with the veterans and I'm like, well, at the get them from the VFW and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like I might get in trouble. And then they're like, no, you won't get in trouble. You're just recruiting them. And I'm like, okay. So that's where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, it's a great way to thank them for their service.
Yes. They're gonna show up with
Absolutely.
broken with no legs, wheelchair, missing eye, missing teeth,
hey,
just
to be a
all
veteran,
happy.
Years, because I've seen, I know a couple people like that. But yeah, absolutely. It's,
Will
it's
make their
an
year.
amazing way to thank them
is
for
there
their
a certain
service.
amount of veterans that you are trying to, well, you are hoping to recruit, or is it like, oh, I'll take what I can get?
I am just going to take what I can get, but I am going to have BTS where I'm filming, or not just BTS, but also like filming that I'm at the VFW so people can see that it's legit because people are going to. I had some woman comment that I hired veterans, and I'm like, I have no idea where they got the information from because I'm like, the guys that like Jack Moore, who I film with, he's a Purple Heart because he went to Vietnam. He is an actual veteran. And Tadpole is a veteran. All of these older men are like most of
Didn't
the
know
older
that.
men that I have filmed with are veterans because so but I don't know where somebody was like, "Oh, you're hiring veterans." I'm like, "I'm not hiring veterans. These are real guys." Like, and I'm like, I'm going to the VFW and I'm gonna have my camera guy kind of like record so he can see that I'm actually at the VFW. So they're gonna see the authenticity of it. And I mean, I may not be able to have all of those guys in my sex tape, and maybe I'll like show them like if they didn't do all the like requirements, I can kind of talk to them. So maybe next time they will take it serious because I've had guys where they're like, I don't know. And then they see like the amount of hype and excitement, and they're like, I wish I would have like signed up for it and stuff, and now I'm regretting it. So yeah, I'm gonna have I'm not sure I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but um,
It's crazy people help me think people like will like, have stolen valor or stuff like that. It's
yeah.
ridiculous. But I think it's because people think it's fake because there are so many videos out there of where people are like lying about oh, I'm gonna get some random old guy and say he is this, whatever. And because of that, because of other people, not you, because of other people, they say, oh, she must be doing the same thing,
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's crazy is because before I was like when I was new to it, I thought that some of the people that do things with people, those were legit. So was I'm like legit finding guys just from the internet. And
Hmm.
here I come to find out like not everything is true about people doing that. I was like, holy crap, I'm really out here risking my life. I could potentially get hurt, and I'm inviting just random real guys when I was like, okay, I really am going in too deep with this. So anyways, yeah, so that's all I have to say about that.
See, I personally love those better because it is real, you know? Like, I understand us doing role play and stuff like that, but every once in a while, make it real, you know? Have it be
Yeah.
genuine content. And I feel like it does actually show within the footage itself that it's real. They're not just amateur performers. They completely do not know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I have done a few role plays, and it's just because I mean, it's porn. So, but the guys that I get from the internet are real guys that I've never met before. And yeah, and sometimes in my gangbangs I'll have like a few regulars to add in the numbers because, I mean, um I don't know, sometimes people point out they'll see tadpole and they'll be like, those aren't guys, those are tadpole guys. Tadpole doesn't have that many guys. Like he's doing the same thing that I do. He finds guys on the internet, but just because I just add him because I know him, so it's convenient to have him in it. But also, he's very good with telling the guys like this is how it is. So he's kind of there for my security as well. But yeah, a lot of guys think that I'm doing tadpole shoots when he's just the extra guy in my shoot because I want him. It's another number.
Exactly. It
Oh,
isn't another number, but it's one that you know is going to come through.
because I
Yes.
know
It's
Sarah
someone
has.
that's going to actually give you good content, you know?
Hmm.
'Cause I know you've shot with Tab before, right, Sarah?
I've shot a few scenes with
Yeah.
him. hmm I've
So
done
yeah,
the VR and the 2D.
Okay, yeah, I've done VR with him. I haven't done VR in a really long time with him, so I told him when I'm recovered, I would like to do a VR scene because I got really fit and I lost some weight. So I'm like, the last time I did VR, I didn't have the body that I have now. So I'm like, I'm very interested in how my body would look doing VR
Yeah,
because yeah.
what do you
absolutely.
what like how many VR shoots have you done so far in general? Like,
I haven't done that many actual like POV. I've done VR. I've done a few, like maybe
okay,
3 or 4 POV VRs, but I know that he's had the VR at gangbangs, like he set up his camera, and I've had that, but I don't really pay attention to that anymore because but I haven't been in that many VR scenes.
Yeah, because his VR scene is more of like, you can think of it like a fly on the wall or like a guy just sitting back in a chair getting cuffed and watching. Like
Yeah.
the best way to explain his VR scenes
Hmm.
versus simply like the POVR ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like both. I like both, but I also do like cucking people.
I
Um, that brings me to a good question. Do you have any kind of like kinks or anything fun that you like to do? Like as far as like sexually?
Just the gangbangs. That's like my thing that I enjoy doing. So the fact that I get to get paid for doing it is great.
so nothing out there too
Yeah.
crazy. You just
But I mean like off camera, I would say I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm super vanilla. I mean, I'm good at having sex, but I don't do anything like insane off camera. Just, I leave the crazy stuff to the videos because I'm like, people need to see this crazy stuff I'm doing. But other than that, I really just have a very simple sex life. But I have I want to go to a sex party and I potentially might get invited to one. But it's one where you can't have your phones out because it's like, I guess,
private.
for certain
Private
reasons.
safety.
So I was like, ooh, I've always wanted to be in that sex party. And I was told you have to have a membership and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I need to figure out how to do that. So I'm like, that would be a really fun sex party to go to. But I was it back in January, I banged in a jerk off closet in a porno shop.
Okay. That's pretty awesome.
It sounds
Never been in one before.
I don't know why we picked that because we were at a club and the normal person would want to go back to their room, but I couldn't have him go to my room. And I don't know why we didn't fuck in his car. Like, why didn't we fuck in your car? And he was a young guy, and I'm not used to fucking young guys. And he was like really paranoid. And me being like, I was like, because he didn't really, he actually went and got tested because he wasn't sure if he was gonna have sex with porn stars. So he went and he actually got tested just in case. So
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck this guy that doesn't really do porn because anyways, with that being said, we ended up going to the sex shop and fucking in a jerk off closet, and you're not allowed to do that. And I don't know why we picked that. I'm like, why would we? And then like maybe he enjoys it, but why of all places? And then the guy that was next, there was a guy that was walking around, and he must have knew what was going on. So he went to the next jerk off closet, and he must have heard us, and he was like jerking off.
Okay.
okay,
Fuck
okay,
yeah.
okay.
That sounds
Time
fun
out,
as
time out.
fuck.
I never knew it was a jerk off closet at some of these places.
Yeah, they have like a little TV. They don't really have them anywhere. They have them in Vegas, and then there's one in Chicago. Or actually, I think there's two in Chicago. I've been to both of them. The one that I went to, and you could hear the guys coming, and the cum go on the wall, and it's just like,
I don't know if I would have. I'll say this.
So who
I
cleans
would
up?
feel weird going, yeah, feel weird going to one, picking a video out, saying, okay, I got this the brand new Wisconsin Tiff scene, and I'm about to go into the jack off closet and jack off to Wisconsin Tiff doing her thing. And it's kind of like I'm in there just going at it. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, how many dudes have been sitting right here with their booty cheeks out? And I'm up here just jerking off away, and I gotta touch the doorknob when I walk out of here. How often do they clean this doorknob? But F that right now. Still watching Wisconsin Tiff, but still it's a lot of like I bring a UV light. What would I see? You know,
My
how
God. See, Rostar, you're overthinking it.
you
I'm
know
just thinking of like,
yeah,
oh,
it's just
that
it's.
sturdy. I like it.
I overthink everything Wisconsin Tiff. So it's like it's just that's what my brain works.
I'm
So
sure some of them you could bring a sanitizer wipe and stuff. I mean, and a glove. But I think the reason why some guys go there and do that is because they can't have any trace
yeah.
of porn at their house. So
Mhm.
they're like, the only way they can watch porn is going to this place because they won't have, they like can't find their porno stash at home.
Hmm. I also feel like it might just be for the tabooness of almost feeling like you're doing it in like a dressing room or something like that, you know?
Probably.
I feel like there's a little bit of that like semi-public element that adds to that horniness of like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in that closet and do it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I I don't
Well,
know. I feel like I need to go to one of those places and play with myself
It's
a little bit. Wonder.
very different.
can I ask you this? So, since you've done this for a while now, what do you think has been the craziest thing that has happened on a set that you've been on?
I've never really
Craziest
had
or funniest?
a guy showed, oh my God. No, there is one. I should have I knew there was something. I should always write these down, but I don't think of it. This guy, this fan, um ended up doing a video with me, and he couldn't show his face, so you would think somebody would bring like a black mask because that's usually what I ask because it just looks aesthetically pleasing. And because it just, full on black mask because it just, I don't know, it's better than having sunglasses on and maybe a face mask because I feel like it's just a distraction. So,
Mhm.
anyways, this guy decided to pull out an Iron Man mask and put it on. And I'm like, where he was fucking me and I was looking up at it and I'm like, I can't with this. You're gonna have to take it off. And he's like, I thought it'd be funny. And I'm like, I am not, this is not the time and place to be funny about it. We're trying to make a serious porno here, and you're legit like that thing could fall off your face too and land on my face. But anyways, I was like, I can't with that. I like can't take it serious. Like I'm gonna start laughing and I don't need that now. So let's take that
Hmm.
off. And I was thinking, I'm like, dude, how old are you? Come on now.
Hmm.
I was like, wear a regular mask. You just wasted your money on some stupid mask.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, on top of that, there's also the
I mean,
whole
it
thing
could be in
about
his personal
copyright
collection.
infringement, you know? Like, I don't want to be at risk for that.
Somebody showed up in a superhero cape once.
Oh my
And
God.
they're like, Lee, you're not main character here, dude. Take that off. I
Right. You're like, we're not doing a superhero scene. That's not today.
don't know like what the frick. You got Iron Man showing up, a freaking cape, and I'm like, are these just guys who I don't get it. So, anyways, I'm like, this is not the time and place. Like, no.
Mhm.
I mean,
Exactly. Like, we're not filming comedy porn today. We're filming regular porn.
I don't even know what would be categorized as because I'm like, it's weird. Like I do weird stuff, but I'm like, it's like not very I don't know. Whenever I think of porn, I don't think of a guy wearing a freaking cape. I just don't think that would monetize as much money as like, I don't know. It would just be a distraction.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless you're doing like I want to be a superhero. I want to be a superhero gangbang. You
I
God.
know,
have had a guy who does superhero type, that's his niche thing.
Hmm.
But I did ask him if he could please just wear a black mask because it might just he ended up putting his superhero mask on after if we could take a picture, and I was totally fine with that. I
Yeah.
just was like, I just don't want it to distract the
right? Yeah.
shoot. And I'm like, I don't want it to come off as like that. But he was like super respectful. It was just kind of weird that there was a different guy that showed up in a cape and he was like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know who I'm like, I hope it wasn't the same guy. But the Iron Man mask was what really just was
Well,
weird.
just weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
I get that.
so. Question: Since you keep referring to younger people, what's the oldest person you've been with? How old was the oldest person you've been with?
80 years old.
Okay.
Okay, my 80-year-old brother. I see you out there.
Hey, come on, the grandpas need love too.
I want to do 100-year-old.
Ooh, okay. Just don't give him a heart attack.
I
But
would have to make sure
I
he's healthy enough to be able to handle it. And if he can't get hard, I will just like hump him just to like, and I'll play with him. Hopefully,
Mhm.
it doesn't raise his blood pressure.
Right.
But I would be very gentle with him.
Mhm. Exactly.
And he'd probably be like, yeah.
You know what? You know what's crazy? You might actually run into 100-year-old at the VFW. That's where a lot of them like go to. So
Mhm.
when you go to Kansas City, you might actually do will English.
You
You
might
might
actually find
actually
one.
run into a individual who is 100 years old, and you'll kill two birds with one stone.
Mhm.
You say, "Yeah,
While you're there, you might as well ask around. Like,
I got this 100-year-old vet right here
mhm.
that's about to get some loving from Tiff."
Yay. I would love that. I'd be like, all right, let's make some viral content because you're not going to see that anywhere. And before you know it, everybody's going to try to go find 100-year-old, but they're not going to find them the way I do. They're probably going to be
Exactly.
like, hey, is your grandpa willing to do a sex tape or is somebody
Oh
calling
my
their
God.
friends? I'd be like, no. And then people like say things like their family and this and that. I'm like, the freaking 100-year-old doesn't fucking care. He's gonna die soon.
Yeah, exactly. Like, mind you, the 100-year-old man's probably done a lot dirtier things
Yeah.
we've done, you
Yeah,
know?
why do they act like these people who are 70 plus didn't get freaky in their younger days? This ain't their first rodeo. It's just okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. They weren't all like prudes growing up and
Hmm.
said, we can't have sex until we get married. And now that my married partner is no longer here, I can't touch anybody else. The heck? No.
Yeah, they're not like
Let
that.
that man get freaky. let that man have some of Tiff's cookies. He gonna enjoy it. That's the best way to go. Like when you like having your last breath, you can say, you know what? When I had my 100-year-old birthday, I hooked up with this magnificent, beautiful, perfect porn performer. Her name was Wisconsin Tiff, and she put it on me. And it was my 100-year-old birthday, and I can't complain because now I'm gonna go into the afterlife happy because she put it on me something so decent and like even like in the rest of my days, I had a smile on my face. I didn't even care about anything I was going through because Tiff made me smile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
would
like
be
it'd be
funny.
life altering, regardless of the age.
I saw a group of homeless guys last night and I was like talking to my friend. I'm like, oh, I should invite them back. And she's like, no, you don't. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, but they look like they could use a pick me up and a
Mhm.
gangbang. I was like,
Right?
no, I'm like, okay, no, you're right. I'm gonna catch something.
You know what
Exactly.
though? You know what though? I think most of them would that pick me up and he'll get off the streets. They're like, yeah, I got that Tiff motivation. Nah,
That's true. That's true. But
but yeah,
still,
you
I
might
feel
get
like
something.
for things like that, that's when role play comes in handy. You can go and get like five male talent and be like, all right, boys, dress down.
I would want it to be authentic. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not good. I only do role play like once in a while, like POV role play. But if it's homeless, I'll take them to the testing facility just to make sure they're clean. I hear like if you're homeless, you have a higher chance of having hepatitis C. So I'm
Mhm.
like, thank gosh we test for that. But then again, I'm like, I don't know. So the disabled veterans is the closest thing, because
Yeah,
that's in.
Exactly. Because the way I think about it, they have free medical. So it's like
yeah.
they gonna
You would have
stay,
to
gonna keep that upkeep.
you would have to pick up the homeless people, go take them get tested, put them into a hotel, get them showered, then wait till the tests come back, then do the scene. And it's a lot more work into it,
That
especially,
is true.
doing the showering. And then because you have to pay for the test rather than them
Yeah,
paying
because
for
they're not gonna
the
be
test.
able to afford it. So I'm gonna pay
Mhm.
for all their tests. And then yeah.
It's just like a
It
lot.
would be a blast.
It,
And then
Absolutely.
I would get
Have a
so
blast.
much hate. I would get so much hate. I'd be like, I would get hate for exploiting homeless. But I'm like, I'm just trying to give back. I mean, they haven't fucked, so
Mhm.
you're going to get hate for like anything you do because
yeah.
they find anything like first of all, people hate like a lot of people pretend they hate porn, and those pretenders see every little thing that someone does that's authentic, like you said,
Mhm.
and say, "Oh, you're taking advantage of the elderly. Oh, you're taking advantage of the disabled veterans. Oh, you're taking advantage of the homeless people. Oh, you're taking advantage of people who can't get laid, so they want to do
Mhm.
a 50 person. They're gonna find an issue with everything because
Yeah.
people are depressed
Absolutely.
and want to hate on you for no reason. I've seen yourself, like I follow you on the Twitter. I followed you for a while on the Twitter, and I see what you do. You're having fun what you're doing, and I like people like I've seen like the comments people say they love your crap, your stuff. So yeah, so do what you do. F people's opinions. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
I
get a
Absolutely.
lot of hate. I get so much hate, but a lot of time I don't even feed into it. Once in a while, I will respond to somebody. I did have someone today say that the surgery is fake, and I don't know where they got that idea because they were just going off of they had no actual facts. And I was just gonna respond because he was like, "I need photos," and I'm like, and I was gonna respond, I'm like, "I'm not sending you a photo of my asshole stitched." So, but I
Exactly.
didn't say anything. I just let him, and then I think he deleted the comment anyways because I don't know. So, anyways, I let them just be their crazy. So I just keep my mouth shut and just let them do their thing. So, but yeah, I get so much hate. Once in a while, I'll like hide their comment because I'm like, I don't want to read that, and
Yeah.
it's like. it's just pointless to even respond to it because they're looking for that response. And
Exactly.
because of like certain things, they want to get as much information from me. So if they try to say something super negative, they know they're going to get a response. But with me, it's not going to happen. I mean, I used to, and then that just would burn me out. And I'm like, they don't deserve, I'm like, they have what they have, and if they don't like it, then they don't like it. But my real fans who know like I try to be as authentic as I can because I'm crazy. I do a lot of interesting things that not a lot of creators would ever do, like doing stuff with their fans. Like I actually do stuff with my fans, but after a while, people will say it's just not good enough and they want more and more and more. And then I try to push limit. And if I can't make that limit and it's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, how can I critique it? And then they look at that and they just try to find something negative, and it's like I don't know, I can only do so much. So
I will say this
Right?
because
Like we're
I
only
can hear it in your
human.
voice, but like you are, as you said earlier, everything you do is authentic, and it shows that like you care genuinely about what you put out and what the fans think, and you really care. So if you have, yes, you're gonna have a few trolls no matter what, but as long as the your loyalists always come back. As long as the people who genuinely support everything you do always support you, those are the ones that matter the most. 'Cause at the end of the day, everybody like everybody is gonna have an assumption about whatever. And like I know there's actually a video of you. I think you were crying about the stitches weren't like all the stuff wearing off.
yeah, that was real. And then some guy was like, pictures or it didn't happen. I'm like, do you not see the pain that I'm going through? And then he's probably thinking like I'm not crying from that. And I'm like, I wasn't even gonna post that. I was gonna keep it for myself because I recorded that a while ago. And
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna, I obviously didn't want to share any of this stuff because we never even announced that the 50 guy thing was out. So it kind of would have messed up the timelines. But I'm all healed now. And it's funny because people are saying, oh my God, get better, get well. And I'm already healed. And I don't think they realize like I'm already healed. So, but they're probably so used to stuff being in the moment. So they think like I just had it yesterday when in fact
Yeah.
I had it a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Because
Yep.
I'm that same kind of person where I don't post things right away. Like I hold on to that for a little bit. Like for example, if I'm leaving the airport, I'm not gonna post it then and there, you know. I will post it the next day. Oh, hey, look, I'm at the airport. I'm doing this. Because at the end of the day, it is our safety and it is our personal lives as well. Like, yes, I'm Sarah, but I'm also someone else, you know. I'm the personal me. And people they don't always understand that we have two sides of us and they're only ever going to see what we want them to see
Mm-hmm.
because we're always going to try to keep part of ourselves to ourselves. And obviously, with our partners and stuff like that, like every celebrity, mainstream celebrity that you see, does not post every single little bit of their life.
At that moment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And at that moment, either.
and I think people had just have an issue because like you said, the 50 gang bang thing just came out, and then they say, okay, she went and had surgery like right when this is coming out, so she's using this surgery. This is their surgery as a way to say, oh, like I left the gang bang and I immediately went and had surgery because of, and it's
I
just
didn't
like,
think of that. I assumed they would have thought that I've done the gangbang a while ago, but then I keep forgetting like there's new people and they don't understand like how things are posted on the internet. And I'm like, even though I never even said I just did it, I'm like, I recently did one, but yeah, they don't understand the timelines because
Yeah.
it's like we weren't ready to release that yet. But I did announce prior to it that we were looking for guys, so I marketed that heavily. And then no one heard anything else about it, and they thought like it didn't even happen because we were very hush hush about it.
yeah.
So they were confused. And then people were like, "Are you releasing it?" And I wouldn't respond because I'm like, we are waiting to release any kind of social media because there was a certain way we were doing things because we needed certain things to come out first before that. So
You have the people sign an NDA before they do it, just so it's not they don't say, well, this is coming out with blah 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 blah, so it's secret.
no, because the guys didn't even know when it was coming out because some of the
Okay.
fans were the guys were asking when is that being released and we don't give them any information. The
Okay.
only thing they sign are release forms and stuff. So we get to decide where we want to put it and when and stuff. But a lot of the guys were asking me and I either didn't respond or I just was like, um, I can't give, or most of the time I'm gonna be like, I can't give out any other details at this moment, but I mean, that's all I can say. And they'd be like, okay, whatever. Yeah. And they were like, okay.
I'm just not thinking about like depending on where all you posted at, like and what sites require what paperwork and how crazy that is. Because sometimes you can't upload them
Ah,
all. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about paperwork now. Um,
that will be insane to upload all that paperwork for one scene. Like, I'm sure
It's a lot, but yeah.
it's just time consuming to upload everything like that.
But we had assistants, so it wasn't just us doing it all because we
Mhm.
were getting ourselves ready, but we had assistants. So we had bodyguards and it was pretty crazy. So, but we had assistants because if we had to do all that, we would have been really stressed out. And um, thankfully we had that. But the paperwork is for them to sign so we can post on social media so they don't be like, oh, I don't want that on social media. We have
Mhm.
one guy that doesn't want his face showing anymore, so I had to go in I had the videos edited, but I forgot about that and I'm like, oh, so I'm gonna have to go back in. I haven't posted anything from that, but I have to go back in and do that. Thankfully, I remember what he looks like and stuff because he did not want to wear a mask and he was fine with it. And then he realized at the end, after all of the excitement and stuff, he was like, I actually think I don't want my face showing because I don't think I want my work. Because at first he was like, oh, I don't care if my job finds out, but he got a promotion. And I was like, are you sure? I even questioned him because I'm like, I do not want to go back and have my
Mhm.
editor blur out the face and stuff because that is just so much work. So I said, are you sure you don't want to have your face covered because it's going to be really hard for us to edit this video. So I would highly recommend. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, okay. So, I mean, I've run into issues in the past with guys who decided to change their mind and they caused so many issues. And then I started reevaluating who I'm putting in my shoots. And I'm just like, you all are wearing full face black masks and I am making you sign. They always signed release forms, but this one guy was just being a douchebag and um still asked to do shoots with me, even though he was like trying to be picky. And I'm like, you signed a release form, you signed a consent form as well, and you signed a no harm liability form, and you don't make the rules here. And then I told him, like,
yeah.
he was like trying to threaten me that he was going to take me to court. And I'm like, you don't have a case here. You signed legal documentations. And I said, and if you don't want your family finding out, you want to know something? This is going to get so much publicity and probably press, and they're going to find out. So they're not going to know that you were in my porno because he wore like a covering, a face covering. And I'm like, you weren't even really the main, like, you're bringing more attention to you by doing this. And I said, and if you go to court, they're going to laugh at you and no one's going to take your case because the type like the attorney that wrote these for a specific reason so people like you don't try to whatever, so it covers every loophole. I said, do you know
Mhm.
how weird it's going to be you showing up to a courtroom and them finding out like it was like a huge gangbang and like it's just going to be very weird because they've never heard anything like it, they're not going to be able to take it serious. And then he's like, yeah, I know, I'm having a hard time trying to find an attorney that's gonna, I'm like, you're not gonna find one. You're literally
Exactly.
not gonna find one unless they specify in this type of stuff. And the people who know are gonna know like there's nothing you can do, dude. You've signed all these forms.
Exactly. And you sign them of your own free will.
Yeah, and even in one of the forms it says if you change your mind, if you get depression from this, if you have if you develop psychological issues or any it like had every loophole because of this, there is nothing you can do. You cannot sue us, you cannot take the content down if you do this and that. And then he just realized he was like digging himself in a hole and not going to work around it because he was just trying to see what he could get with me and he was whatever. So, anyways, that's when I kind of reevaluated. I want these guys to wear full black masks because that's
Hmm.
when that started. Because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this bullshit. And if
Hmm.
these guys don't want to be in porn, then they don't be. I remember telling him, I was like, I think what the issue was, you weren't thinking with your head and with your brain, and you were thinking with your dick. So I said, maybe you shouldn't be in porn at all if you're worried about AI. He was like talking about AI. And I said, I was like, if you're that worried, then why are you asking to do shoots with me even after you like he was so dumb. He was just so like
Yeah.
something was just not clicking in his head. So I was like, don't go in porn. And I said, I will make sure all my friends and he was like, all my friends like he was nobody, but he was just I was like, I'll make sure everybody knows not to shoot with you. And he wasn't a creator or anything. He was like, how dare you can't do that. And I'm like,
Yeah, we can.
You signed a
yeah, we can.
contract.
If you're changing your mind and stuff and causing issues, that's to warn other people not to shoot with you, but you're not an actual creator, so it doesn't really matter. You're just
Exactly.
anyways. He
I
just
mean,
showed he was so weak. He was so freaking weak.
Yeah, he would now be considered not safe.
Yeah, he would be not safe. He would be on the blacklist. And he's all like, you can't do that. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how this works, dude. We all talk, but you're not
Yeah,
a creator, so none of the actual performers would they be like, why the fuck is he even in videos then? Like, forget that guy. He's nobody.
absolutely. Because they don't realize this, but we do have a blacklist for civilians as well. Like we use
Oh
each other's
yeah.
references and stuff like that. So even if you're not going on social media and being like, oh, this guy, don't work with him, he will probably still go and be like, oh yeah, well, see, I've already filmed before. I filmed with this person and this person. Those people, that person he contacted will contact you and be like, hey, so what do you think about this guy?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was thinking that I didn't have I'm trying to think I don't remember what anyways, he doesn't bother me anymore, but
Hmm.
yeah, I it really opened my eyes to guys just being like,
Hmm.
do they really want to be in the porno or are they just using that to have sex with me for free?
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, so
I think it's the latter. Because
Yeah.
because some just like, oh, I can say I've had sex with a porn performer
Hmm.
rather than thinking about anything else, even though they don't realize once you sign something, you're giving away, the right for them to post it. And you can't come back and say, well, I don't want this on there now. You've already signed and you had the option, like I know you have in your contracts, the option about, hey, this will show your freaking face.
Hmm.
You are showing your
yeah.
dick. You are already showing your dick, and like
Absolutely.
it's
And most of our contracts will say in perpetuity. And if it says that, there's nothing they can do. That shit is forever.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, so anyways, I learned my lesson from that experience and I had another experience kind of similar and he is just I had another experience that was very similar, but I don't post these experiences on the internet because I just don't want to seem like I don't really run into many issues. It's just that people don't realize like working with regular guys is not easy. And then that's when I was like, I'm going to start shooting with performers who are actually established because they actually want to be in this content because these guys are ruining it. And I don't want to give a bad name to doing what I do. So I kind of just keep that part under wraps because I'm like, I have it under control and everything. I've been yeah.
Yeah.
There was another thing, asking a guy to make a verified OnlyFans account so I can tag him, but he also had to sign consent forms, and he must have deleted his OnlyFans or something,
Yeah.
and I have to reach out to him and I'll be like, hey, you have to recreate it because I mean that's why you were in the content, and if he gives me any issues, I'm just going to be like, then you're not going to be in my content anymore or anything. And I'm sure he's not going to, I'm sure he won't give me any issues, but I'm just going to be like, you're giving, this is a big deal. Like, you can't just say you're going to create an account and then delete it right afterwards, because that's not how this works. And you'll never be in my content again. So I had a couple guys do that. And, I have to reach out to two of them because I'm like, you can't just do that. So now, um, but
Because it
thankfully
messes
for the
with you.
paperwork. So yeah.
It just messes with
Exactly.
it messes with your money at the end of the day, and then you can't even put it up on certain sites because, well, especially OnlyFans, because it's easier with OnlyFans because all you gotta do is tag their damn page, and it's like blah blah's in it, and you don't gotta do paperwork specific for OnlyFans because of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to reach out to just confirm, be like, hey, I noticed that your account is no longer verified and I need you to verify it because this is going to be running into issues. So, and if they give me any issues, I'm going to be like, hey, um, you want to be in my content still, right? And they're probably going to be like, yeah. I'm like, you need to re-verify it. Or maybe they don't even know. I don't know. Maybe they don't know, or maybe they ran into some issues or something. So I'm not sure.
Because I do know, for example, if their like driver's license has already been like expired, they will have to resubmit. So
That
it
would
may
make sense.
that absolutely.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah. So I'll probably just have, maybe that person had a birthday. So I'm thinking maybe they expired or something. But I
Yeah.
never assume like
damn
they're
birthday.
purposely unverifying their account. I'm just like, I don't think they realize like I can see if it's unverified. So I have to reach out and just ask. And I'm assuming they would want to be in my content again because they've been regulars. But I'm like, if they ever give me issues, I'll be like, hey, you can't, I'm like, you can't be in a sex tape anymore and you're not gonna have sex with me. So
Right.
they'll probably be like,
All you
okay, I
gotta
better
do is
verify it.
buy
Update
them.
your page to have sex with Miss Wisconsin Tiff again. You know what's
Mhm.
magical.
Exactly. So speaking of other performers, are there any that you have been wanting to work with that maybe you have a little like to-do list or a wish list? Maybe your top
Yes.
five?
I would really like to work with Dread. We do follow each other on our socials, but I'm not sure if I can do him in my ass right now. So if it was like regular, but I'm not sure if I see him mostly doing anal. But I think he fucked my friend in the pussy, so I'm not sure. I know
Yeah,
He
he
does
does.
Johnny's.
he does both.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's fun.
That's what I would be open to, like Dread. And then um Johnny Sins, we follow each other. I met him in person, so he knows who I am. And then I'm trying to think of who else. Um gosh, I cannot think of their names on the top of my head, but they follow me.
Mhm.
And then I think this guy named Small Hands. He's named
Okay.
Owen. I don't think he follows me on
Owen
socials,
Gray.
but he's, yeah, Owen Gray. He's somebody
Mhm.
that I would like to shoot with. He probably doesn't know because I've never reached out to him, but he's like one of the guys. Because one time I had a tattoo done, and she's like, "Do you know Owen Gray?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." I mean, I don't know him personally, but I follow
Mhm.
him on social media, and I know who he is. And he's like, oh my gosh, I've seen some of his stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So it'd be funny if I worked with him and then like my hometown, whatever, they're like,
Go get another tattoo and be like, hey, guess who I just did?
yeah. But I can't think of any other people that are on my wish list. So I'm a very open person. I've just been so used to filming with regular guys and fans and stuff that it's just my niche. It's that, but there are times where I would really like to film with performers because I do want to feel more like I'm making actual porn because it's with actual performers versus just being super, super duper amateur, if that makes sense. So it would be nice to
Yeah.
experience like a shoot that is they know what they're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
But I do have a few guys who are I met them on the internet and they've learned how to perform for the camera. So um they're good. Like, but
I love
I,
those kinds of guys.
what's that?
I love those kinds of guys where
Yeah,
they learn from you, so they know exactly what you want, what you're looking for, and stuff like that.
yeah. I think I'm just tired. It's like exhausting having like guys show up and they don't know what to do. It's
Mhm.
really exhausting. And it would be nice to just show up to a shoot and they already know what they're supposed to be doing. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I already they know what they're supposed to be doing. So I'm like it makes it easier.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I think that's always a good plus because, like, because sometimes, and now this is not a knock at anybody, but it's just so much stress off of you when you're dealing with, someone who's done this for a while and it's not a civilian, I'm gonna say civilian, coming
Yeah.
in, jumping off and say, hey, so it's like this, and it's more a one-on-one thing or five-on-one thing, depending on what you do, and it's more,
Mhm.
relaxed, than everything else. So I get it, if that makes
Yeah, the
sense.
dynamic of the scene definitely changes according to the talent, of course.
Well,
Um,
I wish you the best when if you
mhm,
do with any of those individuals because I know four of the five personally, and I know all of them are fantastic,
mhm.
Yeah.
fantastic performers.
That's why
So
I want to work with them because they're really good at what they do. And I would really love to experience that because I've been doing this work for a long time. And I think I deserve to fuck a real professional because I'm always feeling like I'm the super professional one when it comes to these shoots with these guys who don't know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I
So,
mean,
actually, yeah. So can you tell us where we can find you and where everyone can see your social medias and all of your content, please?
You can find me on Wisconsin Tiff xxx.com, and I have a few Instagrams that are not linked on that website, but that links to my Fansly OnlyFans, my Snapchat premium wish list, and I think I said my X account. Otherwise, you can find my Instagram by Googling wisco.tiff, and then that's
Mhm.
linked to my other Instas.
Sweet. And you guys can find me on imsaralace.com. All of my links and my social medias will be on there.
and we are at Burbank Memphis on Instagram or if it's on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm Raw Star, just some random dude out here that makes waves. Miss Tiff, you are a joy, a pleasure, an awesome human being. And I wish you like everything you got planned coming up is fantastic. And I hope those things you want come to fruition because I know you will murder them to the highest extent because you are
Right?
awesome and you will kill it. And I hope, yeah, and I hope, everything goes well with everything that you're trying to do. And I hope these fans who are, well, these people out here will stop hating on you because they will and they'll recognize your greatness. You know,
Hmm.
everybody, please tune in next week. Please go out and subscribe to everything that she does. And then you know what? Just give her money just because.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
today's
Absolutely.
today's
Appreciate it.
Monday. You just say, you know what? Tiff, here's $30 just for being you. For no reason.
Aw.
Don't say nothing. Just say, third Tiff, $30 just for you.
Mhm.
It goes towards my butthole surgery. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But like this. You can't see her do it, but you send her $30 and she'll make it wink for you. You can't see it. You won't be able to see it. It's
Yeah.
winking. Every time you send her $30, her butthole winks.
It's winking right now.
Yeah, it's winking right now. You see her $30, it'll wink. You won't see it wink. You won't be getting a picture of it, but it'll wink every time you send her
Wait
thirty
for you.
dollars. So like if you spam send her $30, if you send her like 40 $30 at one time, it's gonna wink 40 times at you. And
Yeah.
just tell her,
Absolutely.
hey, I sent you $600 right
Oh my
now
God.
because
Be
Oh
because
my
winking it
uh
God.
all day
because
long.
because I wanted it to wink. So it's gonna wink every time you do it. So,
Mhm. Exactly. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
serious, y'all. I'm
So much
serious.
on Wisconsin. I do feel like we should have talked more about your personal life, and I kind of feel bad that we didn't.
It's
But
okay.
honestly, I feel like
I mean, we
I
can.
don't know. We talked a lot about the booty hole, which is
I know. I don't know what happened. I was on another podcast and I was like, how the hell did I end up talking about my butthole for 30 minutes straight? I'm like, I don't know why.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
because
but
we usually get on and say, so what do you do for fun, Miss Tiff? And we didn't even get that. So what do you like? We can end with that. We can end with that.
buttholes. Right.
What do you do for, like because you say you're very vanilla. So like the thing is like when you're not touching the booty hole, what do you do for fun? Do you like play video games? Do you do gardening? Do you like play hopscotch? Do you like play cornhole? Yep, she's from the Midwest. Cornhole's a thing, and I don't know what y'all call it. We call it cornhole. Anyway,
what are some of your hobbies, babe?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was like, I love traveling. I also do a lot of self-care. Like I like to go to the spa, especially when I'm dealing with a lot of like social media pressure. And I just want to escape and I just want to relax and just get my massage done or go to the spa where there's a sauna and a cold plunge and just like not think about social media and having an excuse to not have my phone because I mean, reality is I can't just put my phone down. That's part of my job. So to have balance in my life and not get burnout, really um, putting myself first by having self-care. But I love traveling and I love going to Aruba, Hawaii. I want to go back to Hawaii or Aruba later this year
Yeah.
because I want to try to get in as much work so that way I can kind of use it as a reward and relax because it'll be worth it. I don't want to go right now because I feel like I have so much work to do and I'm like I need to focus. So but yeah, I love doing that. I hate shopping at the stores,
I
but
get that.
I love TikTok shop.
Oh my God. See, I'm an online window shopper. So it doesn't really matter where. I'll just go online and start scrolling and be like, oh, that's cute. Let me add it to my cart. And then literally I will forget about it. And maybe like a week later I'll find the site again and be like, huh, should I buy it?
I could
That
lie
kind of
and say
shopper.
I never shop online, but everybody in this earth knows that I have an Amazon habit,
Insane shopper.
and I need to go to Amazon Anonymous to work on my Amazon habit because it's sad. It's sad.
Absolutely.
I have stuff coming today on Amazon. But anyway, again, thanks for coming on. And yeah, next time, like, whatever, we didn't talk about your personal so much, but we had fun and we'll talk to y'all later. Be well, stay blessed, everybody. And yeah.